That'll work. Tuesday.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
You got to remember what day it was? Kind of.
No. I had a burp hiccup thing going on in there too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, everybody. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber in sunny and probably getting quite warm today, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there.
Yeah, I just noticing someone's walking out and texting. I thought it might be our gazebo guest. Oh. No, it's Mike. So, it's our landlord. So yes, we have a gazebo guest. The stage where we like to hang out is occupied, and not by the Bracken Mountain Breakfast Club. We'll see how this goes. Anyway,
should be fun.
Should be fun. Yes. So, but it's warm out today.
Yes.
Is that your pin loom instructions? How cute. Okay. It's warm out today. I'm probably not going to be wearing this all day. Like, I didn't need a winter coat. Right? I'm going to move some of this random stuff. Look, there I am. Hello.
It's going to get warmer and warmer and warmer. And then Thursday.
And then we're going to explode in a ball of flames.
No.
Okay.
Thursday, our high on Thursday doesn't stop until our low on Saturday morning. Like, it just drops. Like,
oh, I thought you meant like the high, like it stayed that warm through Saturday.
Friday, we're going to be in the 50s. And Saturday, we could be in the upper 40s.
But right now it's 48.
It's going to be in
but it's early in the morning, so
mid to upper 70s, like all the way until Thursday.
I'll wear some cotton tops, but right now I'm still wearing my LON because yeah. Anyway, so hi.
Oh, there's another.
I feel like it's been a long weekend, but it's not. But it's
I know what it is. It's where I stick my pin.
Oh, is it breaking your?
Yeah, I think the weight of my pin is messing, but it's okay.
Oh no!
I'll finish that later.
So the Saxony is like super soft and wonderful, and because it's 75% cashmere, and it's also. Is this an example of woolen spun? Yeah, we're learning. We're still learning about things. So woolen spun is a lot softer, but less durable than worsted spun.
And I did mine on 9 or bigger needles.
I had a thing where on my my shawl, which I did not block yet, I brought home 2 things to block, and it didn't happen because, and I feel like I'm crowding the mic, but because life, because I was trying to give myself some time off, and so late last night I went poop, didn't block anything. But I might try again this weekend. Maybe during the week, but not usually. But no, there was a point, I forget what I was doing. I forget if I was trying to pull out a stitch or do something, and I broke one of the strands. And, I mean, not to say don't buy this yarn, but just know woolen spun, what makes it softer makes it less durable. Like, I wouldn't use this for the warp of weaving. And we have other yarns like the Patagonia. It's 100% wool, and they tell you to use wool for the warp, but not if it's potentially woolen spun.
You need a high tensile strength.
Yes, so you need something that is worsted, that is tightly spun, that is probably not as soft as our softies that are wool. So
I'm wearing a brooch on my black sweater, and I think that's what, just the constant in and out, I probably have snagged it or whatever, and it's broken where I also crocheted onto the thing. So it's not a problem because of the matte finish of the yarn. I'm just kind of sewing back and forth and mending it not like beautifully. I'm just mending it. And
the nubby texture hides a lot.
You can't even tell that, So
we still love this yarn.
It's my Cuddle Duds. I wouldn't change it I thought about mending it with different colors. And then I'd have all these holy patches all over, but...
Visible mending is a thing now.
It's what I do with my sewing.
Yeah.
Like, all of my dresses that need to be mended,
I got a whole book on visible mending from my dad for, I forget if it was my birthday or Christmas. I think it was my birthday. They're kind of close together. I think he gave it to me when he was visiting. So that was my birthday. Close to. So, and it was a book published like over in Scotland or something, which was fun, you know. So anyway,
I like the whole idea of visible mending because like it just
crochet hooks. Yeah.
It, you know, you can see the lifespan in the,
and
you know.
it's just creative.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's the thing in Japanese pottery, right? That again, it's become very trendy now to talk about this. And I forget the name of it, but it's if something breaks, you actually fix it with a gold.
Yeah.
You know, so
you fill the cracks with gold.
You can see where it was fixed. You can see that's not perfect. It's
from that I patch my dresses with silk thread. I'm like,
there you go.
Red silk thread. Yay.
So, anyway, yes, we have a guest outside that we have to see how comfortable we are hanging out outside near him if he's still hanging out outside. So anyway, fun. A little distracted. What else is new? So, so how was your weekend, Liz?
My weekend, I told Bernie I don't feel like I did much, but I did a lot. So I pinned the bodice and the skirts to my 2 Easter dresses. Those I'll be finishing tonight. And then...
She did a lot.
Before I go into that, I played with my pin loom. The blue painter's tape, I found it helps to hold the yarn out of the way when it's just tucked in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did...
You've marked it too.
I did. It's so I don't have to keep pulling out the paper instructions. So now I'm getting quite a stack.
Sounds like they should take advice from you.
Well, they have markings. They're not visible. They're just raised.
Okay.
And so I wanted to be able to see them. Oh, it's like little
bumpy.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So I Sharpied over them, as is my thing. Mm-hmm. So now I'm up to 6. I'm up to 8 out of 150 squares that I need to do. So, for my brother-in-law's blanket. So, I think they're going to be cool. So I played around with this.
Wait, repeat. How many do you need for his blanket?
150. So 50 of each color.
And you have how many done?
I have 8.
She's making progress.
I'm making progress. So
look on the bright side. You're making progress.
Yeah.
I am pulling out some of my entrelac here while you're sharing things that you did because we had an entrelac class and only one of I had 2 people in the first class and one person could come to the second class and the other person is coming to get their second class this week. So I'm trying to back up to the spot where she will be learning from so I can show her stuff. So that's what I'm doing right now.
And last but not least...
What you got?
I have sleeves. Well, not full sleeves, but...
You are so far ahead of me. But it's a challenge, not a competition.
Only because she's not winning anymore.
I don't know if I was ever winning.
You were.
It started as a challenge. We should just keep it like it's a challenge.
I'm going to measure and see how many inches I have. I'm
only at about 4 inches on mine, so...
8.
See? Gosh, you're twice as far as me. She's also knitting with thicker yarn.
Thicker yarn, bigger needles.
I'm not making dresses, though, so... I don't think there's any fair comparison to make on, like... That's another reason it shouldn't be a competition. Not only because I'm not winning. There is that. But also because it's not necessarily... Like, the parameters aren't the same.
No.
Like, you could say, okay, you're on bigger yarn and bigger needles... But you also have dresses. And does that even out? Maybe.
I have dresses and hair and sweater, too.
I'm also doing my pressed flowers stuff. I'm not... If I was only knitting on my sweater, I might be done by now. But I'm also trying to make progress on some of my...
Yeah.
I'm not... I'm just saying. I'm just saying. In case an excuse is needed, I'm just saying.
I don't think an excuse is needed, but, you know.
No.
We're going to work on that.
My therapist wants me to work on all kinds of stuff. Okay, I'm at the point where I might be over pulling on this, so I'm gonna put these on. Okay, I pulled out a whole tier on my entrelock so that I am ready to help my student when she comes tomorrow. All right, so what did I do this weekend? Thanks for asking.
What did you do this weekend?
I sat at home once. Well, we have stories about yesterday too. But let me not yesterday. The last day we were at the shop. I will call it yesterday. Saturday. Okay. So I'm gonna go backwards because between the last day we were open, which was Saturday, and the last time you heard from us was Thursday. Sunday and Monday, I sat at home and tried to get work done and tried to do things for you all on YouTube, on tips and tricks, and my newsletter. I did not leave the house for 2 days because I don't have a car. Because I took my car in to get checked because it was making noises, and then it stopped making noises on Friday, and it needs a lot of work done. So, kind of structural.
Most importantly, it should not be driving back and forth until the work is done.
Until the work is done. So I just left it with them. And I'm hoping they could get it done by today, but there's a really good chance because they're like, we could squeeze it in if we have time. And I don't know if they've had time. So, I just didn't go anywhere for 2 days. And I had to cancel / reschedule a dentist appointment Monday, which is now scheduled for June, because that's how it works. And maybe I'll have my car back today, but I kind of doubt it. But so I was able to stay home and work because I didn't have to go to my dentist appointment. So let's see where to start. Let's start with the last time I saw y'all, we were talking about colors, and guess what I picked? Just dropped one. I did pick the persimmon, the orange. We had one vote for a white, but we don't have a white in this yarn, and we don't even have the cream in stock right now in this yarn. So I picked these two colors, and I was thinking, oh, wouldn't the flowers be so pretty in this multicolor? And then I started it, and the start of the pressed flowers cowl, because I'm like, why not just make everything with the pressed flower? Everything. Since our pressed flowers spring make-along has officially started. Doesn't mean you have to start April 1st, or if you haven't started yet, you're somehow behind and can never do it. It's all spring. So I started with my persimmon, my super bright but not, bright but dark orange as the main color, and this as the flex. And I decided I really didn't like it. Not because these colors don't go together, but because this was an overpowering color, and it starts, if any size but the smallest, you're starting with the plain stitch, which is what I did a video on yesterday for tips and tricks. And the plain stitch, you just have little bubbles of your contrast color, and this was going to be my contrast color. So I had little bubbles of blue, and then maybe some bubbles of pink, which only a bubble of pink in the middle of this fiery orange didn't stand out and kind of looked like a mistake. So I ripped it out. I'd only done a few rows, and I started again with, this is my main color, background color. I thought it wouldn't show up nicely enough, and the solid as my contrast. Now everything else I'm making with pressed flowers, I have the color changing as my contrast for the flowers, and it's a slow color change. So this is how it looks. I think it's actually really, really pretty.
Let me see the flowers.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it. Look. So down here is where I started with, you can see some of the color changing with the blue. It's very subtle. And then having orange flowers, as I drop. Handballing means these balls go everywhere. But this was this morning's morning meditation over on Instagram and Facebook, and I am really, really liking it. I've also peeked at some of people's like finished cowls, and it's really interesting because this is the medium size. It's all about, they're all the same width, small, medium, and large, all the same width and different lengths. And The idea is that you do the plain stitch, and then you do the spaced out flowers, and then you do really close together flowers, and then the spaced out flowers, and then plain stitch, and then seam it. So you kind of have a wave effect happening. But it's totally a choose your own adventure. Like, you can change that if you want. So I'm kind of following the directions just because I'm a rule follower, and I find people who come into the shop want to see samples or want to see what's going to happen if they try to make it. So, but I am really, really loving this. I think it's super cute. And so I'm going to keep going.
It would be an easy pattern to Carolize.
And she has.
And she has. And
yes.
We love Carol.
Yes.
Carol has even taken it and switched the background and the foreground colors.
She switched halfway through hers, yeah.
Yes.
Which was really
Which
cool.
is an even cooler effect. So it really is a choose your own adventure cowl.
I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. Like, at first I thought I might switch, but I really think I might make this one. And then if I want to make another one, but I won't have time to make another one. So
I like the orange. I love the combo. But you're right. I can see how...
The orange was very overpowering.
Very, yeah.
I think the orange is the main color with a solid as a contrast would be gorgeous.
It could be a great Halloween with black contrast. You kind of, something to,
Yeah, we don't have a black in this yarn, but
don't.
the anthracite.
The anthracite.
I don't know how much, it's off black.
It
could be really
several.
fun. We have so many ideas for kits. I don't know if and when we'll be able to make any more kits. I would like to make some more. I'd like to refill them. It just depends on how the days go and how busy we get and how much energy I have. So...
Not a thing.
Not a thing. I would like to throw at least one combo of this up there if anyone is liking this. Because, what? You got
I think I dropped a stitch. No, I didn't.
Oh, no.
No.
Is it where you did decrease? No, you don't decrease.
I'm not decreasing. It's not.
This color is not online because it's the dappled hand paints, and we only have the one color of the dappled hand paints, and it's a different price than the solids. So I might put one or two kits together like this to see if anyone likes what I'm doing and wants to do it the way I'm doing, because some people do. So that is the cowl. Remember, I already finished the hat, and I don't know where it is right now. Oh, it's over here. I did the hat with fiber spates, and we're low. I'm going to try to bring some fiber spates in the next couple of weeks, but the fiber spates DK we're low on. The fiber spates DK would make a lovely cowl with the feeder book especially. The hat came out a little bit big because it's written for sport weight, but it's also very comfy, especially if you want to fold up this awesome big long brim.
And it could be a great slouchy hat.
Yes. So, who needs hair today? Anyway, so that's that. What I have the least done on, here's my entrelac I was going to block this weekend and didn't, but I need it here for the class. I'm going to do the cardigan with, it's like someone, I think it was Kendra, said fire and ice. This is frogged, and this winter color, which I'll try to get up on the Jody Long Alba. It's not online yet. It just came in. I'll try to get it up there. Once you figure out your gauge swatch, which I have at home and I'm using for my tips and tricks videos, all my projects are like intermingled here. It's a hot mess. Once you figure out your gauge, then the cardigan starts with the bottom ribbing. And this is how far I've gotten with the bottom ribbing.
Because it's ribbing.
Because it's ribbing. It's 1x1 ribbing. And it's funny. This is softer than the mosaic. The mosaic has a little bit of texture and a little bit of crunchiness to it. With actually, no, it's because of the Alba, I think.
Yeah.
The Patagonia is lovely and soft, but not as soft as the Alba, because the Alba has, this is organic merino, and the Alba has like an alpaca something combo.
Yeah, it's alpaca wool and like a little bit of nylon or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes it actually a little softer. So, but 19 rows of this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 rows. So I stalled out on this a little because this has the pretty stuff. But this will have the pretty stuff when I get around to it. But I'm trying to finish my Easter dress sweater. My version of an Easter dress will be an Easter sweater. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think it's going to get done until maybe Orthodox Easter, which is a week later. So.
Well, you have a whole...
But it's still Easter, right?
You have a whole week.
Until camera time, yes. Until Easter, no.
Well, I'm
being very technical.
I'm
here.
planning on wearing my finished stuff on a week from today.
So this is
my
Easter. A week from today will be our Easter episode.
Yeah.
So, after Easter Sunday and Monday. So I am on the final. Oh, okay. Hooks hanging off me. I'm on the final section of this. I would need a barber cord if I can find it to splay it out for you and show you. Let me see if I can find a barber cord. It's the final section. The first set of flowers in the final section is just like until halfway through is just like the flowers and the rest of it, and then it starts creeping in to have flowers jumbled on top of each other. And so here I've got the end of these flowers and the beginning of these flowers, which they may not look like they're a lot closer together, but they're a lot closer together. Like, this is very spaced out comparison. This row happens by itself, and then this row, and then I'm starting to have a flower right over here, this one, super teeny tiny on top of itself. So, but the rows are getting so long. Oh, there they are. That's a short one. That's a short one, because my sleeves are off my barber cords. This is a long one. Yay! I have a whole set just sitting here. Not in a case, like it should be. Just sitting here. Hot mess.
It's not a thing.
Said no knitter ever. Oh, and this is tied. I don't know why it's tied together. That's just, anyway. So I will try to get this so we can splay it out. It'll be so pretty. But my barber cords, they're tangled. I usually keep them a little more organized than this, but not in the container necessarily. Okay, let me start on the side that doesn't have my working yarns. I did make my first mosaic video yesterday, though. I made one on the plain stitch, which is the bubbles in between the flowers here, so people could test it out, see if they like what mosaic has to offer. The next video, which may not happen until next weekend, will be on how like the very bottom of the flower goes, and maybe deciphering how the chart looks. But I want to be very, very careful not to give away too much of her pattern, which means I probably will not be doing an entire flower on camera, because that's basically, someone could just take that and replicate it somewhere else. And if you buy the pattern and then decide to carolize and stick it into other things, that, to me, that's different. You have paid for all the work Amy Christophers did. But just don't try to pass it off as your own stuff or write a pattern using her thing, right? Is my big thing. So I may go over how the bottom part of the petal works doing one pass and then another pass, and how you decipher what a chart is telling you to do when it comes to mosaic. But I'm not going to go step by step and lay out the entire flower, because to me that is misrepresenting her work as mine, or saying, oh, I don't have people say, I don't have to buy the pattern now. Yay. No, you need to buy the pattern, because she put in a lot of hard work. I'm a broken record on that, but it's because I feel very, very strongly about it. So here is, wait, I don't want this to pull off. I am into the second skein of both yarns now. And actually, there's not a lot left of this shawl. There's like 40 more rows, which is only going to be a couple inches. And then blocking it might make it even bigger. This bottom part, it's only a few repeats of these flowers, but they're going to get all jumbled really close together. Isn't this pretty?
It is.
I like it.
It is gorgeous. And I can see the next flower starting.
You can just see it starting to come in right on top of the other one. And I think it's really fun that you learn the spaced out before you learn the tight together, because it's really good practice. The rows are taking a really long time now. Yeah. So I was like, I'm almost done. And I did like a row, maybe 2, maybe 3 this weekend. So I want to finish this. I did not finish it before the make along started to give you all inspiration, but I still think I gave you inspiration. So, lastly, not related, I really focused on either the make along for the spring, because there's so many options, or my Avena to finish. And my Avena is not the make-along, but it is fun. And it's by the same pattern writer that I'm probably going to focus a lot of my work on for the fall make-along, Jeni Steingass. And here I am on my sleeves, on my little 4-inch sleeves, which compared to Liz's, which she's working on right now, this is another reason it is a challenge. She's making progress while I'm talking. But I decided, I was like, oh, I could take home my scale and I could divvy up the skein I have left and then the new skein, and like I can still kind of make my sleeves match, and I'm not. I'm using separate skeins for each sleeve. The blush is subtle enough in its tonality that I think it's going to be okay. If I stare hard enough at it, I see differences between the sleeves, but that's only if I stare really, really hard at it. So, because even with same dye lots, even with the same dye lot, you can still have differences skein to skein with this.
It's when hand dyed yarn gets a dye lot, it means it was dyed at the same time, not necessarily the exact same way.
Yeah, and because the dye takes different. A tonal dye means there's different amounts of dye in different places in the vat or however they're dyeing it, and sometimes it's kind of hard to control how much is taken up where. And there are certain yarns that don't even have dye lots. So I think, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I have a separate needle here. I'm going to take, later I'm going to see if I can get them back on right, because I'm doing this 2 at a time, which is all kinds of twisted up, right? I am going to take, and I'm doing this on both of the needles I'm using are interchangeables, and I haven't necessarily tightened them enough, so every once in a while I have to go back and tighten them. I'm going to see if I can slip stuff off onto another circular so I can show y'all how it's going. And so while I'm doing that, we have sit and stitch tonight, right? We have virtual sit and stitch because it's Tuesday.
7 to 9 Eastern.
Get in with the shop phone number on Zoom.
828-877-3550.
You need your...
I need cues.
Your cues.
My brain was like, there's more to it. I can't remember.
So I gave you your I'm not going to use the barcode. Okay. I am going to use the trick of this is where the split is. I'm putting my stitch marker there in case things get wibbly wobbly when I try this on. So
tomorrow we will have
some kind of VSC.
We
had a few purchases of the Cherub Aran prints in decent quantities. So some of our colors we don't have much left. So if you'd like to save 15% on the Cherub Aran prints, today's your last day to do that, because we'll figure out something else for tomorrow. We're not sure what. There are options.
We don't ever really know until like 5 minutes before we film. So,
and people think that's just our gimmick or gag, but no, that's us. That's totally us.
Thursday is Dear Becky and Lizzie, and we already have a few questions.
We do?
We do.
Okay. If you would like to send us some, though, you're going to email
Liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
That's the back. I have so many ends to weave in because because I'm alternating skeins from when the skeins need to change, or this ball, the one that's small, I've had a couple of spots in it where one ply has broken. And so there's a couple spots where when I see that, I leave tails and I treat it like changing skeins. And I don't think that's the yarn's fault. I think it could be because I've had it at home for so long, because I started this sweater a long time ago.
It's been a while.
And so it's very possible at my house something got to it and did a little... So I am not blaming that on the quality of the yarn at all. Okay. So for people who are like, I could make it short sleeve. Yes, you can. Since it's a nice merino, I would like this for a winter sweater rather than... Because honestly... with DK thickness, and it's merino, I'm personally not going to wear it much in warmer temperatures. So
if it was fingering weight, maybe.
Yeah. So this is where I'm at with my sleeves. 4 inches in is actually quite a nice length if I wanted this to be short sleeves. I think this would be lovely. I could do some ribbing. I could end it. And I could be like, I won! But I want long sleeves. And I have the yarn for long sleeves.
I won.
But it's a challenge.
It's a challenge, not a competition, because she's not winning.
I would like to say I'm not that vain, but let's be honest, maybe I am. I don't know.
I won. That's hilarious.
I'm not going to win.
Well, no, but you were like,
this.
I could just make short sleeves, and I won! But it's not a competition!
No. Okay. So, anyway, I think it's going to be lovely. Like, it's a little puckery up here. I think when I block it, it will unpucker a little bit. I feel like there's like this fold that makes it go, ah! What was really neat is I noticed when I folded these sleeves in for a picture, they actually, like, they still, the little thing still happens. I don't know if that makes sense. Well, this, and then when I folded them both in, it still looked like the pattern was just continuous. Yeah. It was cute. I'm going to keep working on them, but I'm noticing, I don't know if it's from knitting, but I'm having some shoulder pain. It's occasional. It's not all the time. But I still feel like it could be from knitting. The thing is, like, I'm an English style knitter, so this arm moves more. Is it because this arm's not moving that it's in pain?
Could be how you're sitting at home.
But at home, but the cat's not always on me at home.
True.
It could be I always sit on one side of the couch, and maybe I need to sit on the other side of the couch. I think the cat would freak out because the other side has become his den. So I don't know if that's going to work. Oh, really quickly, because we need to go open the shop. Saturday was so crazy. When I said yesterday, I meant Saturday. We had the cycling event, because it's not a race, the assault on the Carolinas, and we had thunderstorms come through, and then we had wind. And there were reports of high wind. Of like, be careful, the winds are going to get strong. And Liz knew this. And so the assault on the Carolinas, the cycling event got pared way down.
And postponed a couple of times.
Because of rain. And then you need to be off the streets by 3 because the wind's going to pick up. It picked up before then. But I think everyone was safe. That's the important thing. But we had power lines snapped, like poles snapped.
Poles snapped.
We had, in the area, we had fires from downed power lines. We had the solar sail that's outside, if anyone's seen it, that triangular thing for shade snapped off. Things were blowing over. We went home early because the power was flickering. I don't know if downtown ever lost power.
When I started tracking power outages, there were 25 without power. And then right as we were leaving, there was over 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. And later on at night, there were over 2,000 people without power.
It got pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And we left a little early. Like, if we ever leave early, if we're ever not here during normal business hours, something's happened, usually weather related. And we're just being as safe as we can. So, like, churches downtown did Palm Sunday by natural light the next day. Most of the power, I think, in the area is back on, which that's pretty good for it to already be back on Tuesday. But neighbors to the shop didn't have power for a while, for at least a day. It was crazy, but we're here, so no tornadoes or anything. Just really, we could hear it whipping around the corner. It was crazy. So, stay safe, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow because it's time to go open the shop. So, give us a thumbs up. We're at 1450 something, like 53, I think. We are less than 50 people away from giving you a YouTube only sale when we hit 1,500 subscribers. So subscribe if you haven't already. It is free to do so. If you'd like to support the shop and the work we do with a little bit of cash, you can go to patreon.com/sundragon. And then you get swag after 3 months. It's kind of cool. So anyway, from Patreon. We gotta go. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
Oh.
You're
I need to take this off. I can't just walk over. There's too much stuff tangled right there. Okay.
How do you keep Rebecca in place? You just mix all her yarn up.
You just attach me to my project bag.